Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it feels like forever since I did a sit down video. I think it was only a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it feels like so long ago. But I'm back doing one of these kind of videos, and today, as you can tell by the title, I'm kind of a bit late on this one. Like, people have already made their videos on this and it's kind of been and gone, and I wanted to make one earlier, but I didn't get a chance to go into a store and get them myself. I'm going to be testing the new Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation and the Full Coverage Conceal and Contour. Oh, you can get like the darker ones for contour. Anyway, I'm going to be trying out these today. I don't know if these are my shade. They didn't have many options in the store that I went into, but I'm very pale, so this will probably work for me. And then I just got a concealer as well, which looks more of like a pinky undertone. I don't know if it's going to work well at all. I have no idea. My foundation is in the shade F6.5 and then the concealer is in the shade C0.5. So just in case you were wondering, I'm going to try these out. I'm going to start by, sorry about the camera angle. I'm going to start by moisturising and priming my face like I usually would, just so it's given a fair test. And then we will see how it goes. Okay, so I am moisturised and primed and ready to go. So I'm obviously going to start with the foundation, and I'm going to blend it in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge thing, just like I would with my other foundation. Again, just giving it a fair test and doing it how I would with any other foundation. So I probably should have got all the plastic off of it before I carried on filming, or before I started filming this video, but you know, there we go. Okay, shall I give it a shake? But I've heard some good things about this foundation. I was really excited to try it. I'm excited to see the applicator. It's a giant doe foot applicator. I was worried it was going to be way too pale, but it actually looks like it might be right for me. But we'll just have to give it a go. It doesn't feel like there's much in here. Like, it feels heavy, but when I like try and look inside, it doesn't look like it's got a lot of product in here. I don't know, although it is super high coverage, so you probably don't need a lot. And that might just be me imagining things. It feels heavy, but I think that's because it's a glass bottle. Oh no, I think this is a really good shade actually. I don't know how much to put on because I know it's high coverage, but I don't know if it's like a little goes a long way or not. I don't know. I'm just making this up, if I'm honest. I'll just put a little bit on for now, and then I can always build it up, can't I? I've got some dotted all over my face. I don't know if this is way too much or not enough at all. I don't know, but I'm just going to go straight in and blend it. Also, just as a idea of what my skin's like, I kind of have combination skin. It used to be really dry, but it's not as bad more recently. So I'd say it's kind of a mix. Sometimes it's dry, sometimes it's a little bit more oily, but I never have really oily skin or anything. So I'm kind of a mix, or kind of in between at the moment. So there you go. Let's have a look. Blend it out. I feel like with a beauty sponge, it's not very easy to blend out. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Wow. That is very full coverage. I'm wondering if I would be better doing this with a brush. I'm not sure. Look at that. I'm going to try blending in the other side with this brush, which is the Real Techniques sculpting brush. So it's not a foundation brush, but it's good for that. So I never use a brush for foundation, like never, because I always end up finding it to be really streaky. I think it's done a good job with this foundation. I think because of the type of foundation that it is, because it's quite thick, I think it's harder to blend out with a beauty sponge because it gets dry. Like, I think either way it works. Like, I don't know if you guys can see a difference at all. Like, does it look better blended out with a brush than it does with a sponge? So this is the sponge side, this is the brush side. Let me know in the comments what you think. I am no expert at this sort of thing, so I don't have a clue what looks better and what doesn't, if I'm honest. Like, obviously I've been doing YouTube for a while now, so I kind of, and been watching it as well, so I kind of have an idea of how the makeup stuff works, but I'm still no expert. So tell me what you guys think. I mean, it looks pretty insane right now because of how high coverage it is, but like once it's all blended out, I think it's like a perfect shade for me, which I'm so thankful for, because the shades, they do have loads of shades of this foundation, but the ones that were available in the store that I went into, it was very limited basically. See, I've just blended it out on my nose and it's just disappeared, but I think that's because of the brush. So I'm going to try and put some more on my nose and see if it's better with the sponge for my nose. Maybe it's one of those ones you have to try and blend quickly. Oh yeah, that's better, but now I've got too much on my nose. I think if you put it on and blend it out straight away, it's actually fine to blend out with a beauty sponge. I think because I'd left it on for a bit, it dries quickly. And I think that's what my problem was. I didn't leave it on for ages, but if you don't like blend it out straight away, I mean, so maybe that was where I was going wrong, because it does feel nice to blend out with a sponge. I feel like it's always best. I look dead right now, it looks really weird, because I have quite pink undertones in my skin, I think. I don't know, again, I'm no expert, that could be totally wrong. So it looks quite yellowy, but I think once it's all blended in and then I've got the rest of my makeup on, it should look better. I don't know. Blend it out on my forehead. I put quite a bit on my forehead. Yeah, I think it does work well with the sponge. I think it's just because I didn't put as much on that side, and yeah, it's like once it dries on your face, it's harder to blend out. I think with a sponge, I think that's the problem, but like, I think it's good either way, whether you blend it out with a sponge or a brush. I think you can do either. And like I was saying, I used to struggle with my dry skin. Like, it was never awful, but it wasn't great. And I've always steered clear of foundations that are more matte, which I'd say this is more. Is this meant to be a matte foundation? I don't think it's meant to be, but like high coverage, like thicker foundations always used to make my skin look super dry. Like, I rarely go for high coverage foundations. Like, I'm happy with a medium coverage or light coverage, and just I can build it up if I want to. But I currently look a bit like a vampire. As you can see, it is very high coverage, and I'm so far, obviously this is very first impressions, I am really impressed with this. So I'm gonna like update you like later on in the day, like when because basically I put this on, then I'm going out to work, and I know this looks quite intense for work, but teach drama, and I'm gonna go and do that, and then I'm gonna go straight back to Luke's, and we're going out for his brother's birthday meal, and I will probably update you when I get home from that, and then my makeup will have probably been on for quite a few hours by this point, so then I can update you and let you know if anything's changed, if it's gotten worse, or if it's stayed equally as full coverage, or it's not dried. I'll just let you know how it lasts basically. But that is the foundation done, so I'm going to go on to concealer. So this is the concealer right here. Apparently you can get bigger versions of this now. I think you can get like a jumbo version of this. I don't know, there wasn't any when I was in the store, so oh, that was so satisfying. So I'm going to give this a go. Like I said, this looks like it's a more pinky undertone, can you see that? So I don't know what it's going to look like with the rest of the foundation, but I don't need to use it for any extra coverage really, other than like around my eyes. I'll put some under my eyes and then put a little bit on the lid to like use it as a base for eyeshadow and stuff, but everywhere else is covered, so maybe a bit on my chin actually. My chin probably needs a bit more. Having a closer look at it now, it does look like I'm a bit dry up here, but that's usually not a place where I'd get dry. Oh, okay, I am noticing it now. It is drying on my skin a little bit, like clinging to dry patches a little bit. It's not awful yet, but I have only just put it on, I haven't even powdered yet, so is it gonna get worse throughout the day? I don't know. To be fair, my skin sometimes does that regardless of what foundation I wear. So also, I always get smile lines, usually just on this side, which is really weird. Like, it ends up being on both sides a lot of the time, but yeah, if I get smile lines, I don't want to judge it on the foundation too much, because I just get that pretty much with any foundation I use. So usually it happens straight away, and so far I haven't got any yet. This concealer is very pink, so this couldn't be awful. I don't know. I look like a vampire. This is really weird. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit on, because I'm guessing this is really high coverage as well. Then some on my chin. Okay, let's give this a go. I hope this is okay. Okay, so the coverage is pretty impressive. Again, it's more of a pink undertone, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's actually good. I don't think it looks... I was worried that I was going to put it on basically and it was going to look extremely pink under my eyes and then everywhere else was going to look really yellow, but once it's all blended out, it really works. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that's pretty good coverage. I think it looks quite good so far. Just going to blend it out on my chin because that's where I lost a bit of coverage as well. Wow! It's very brightening, definitely brightening. I put more on my eyelids than I probably needed, even though I felt like I only put a tiny bit on because it's so high coverage. You don't really need a lot at all. That's a good thing about this sort of foundation concealer, like you don't need a lot and it probably lasts you a lot longer. But like I said, I don't know how it's going to last on my skin throughout the day because my skin's very unpredictable. So that is all of the concealer blended out, and I feel like it looks way weirder on camera than it does in real life. Like, it looks very pink. I think I've just got some in my eye. My eye is stinging quite bad. Don't know if that's because I got some... I am gonna powder my face and do the rest of my makeup and get back to you and let you know how I feel about it when everything else is done. And hopefully my eye doesn't explode. From first applying it, overall thoughts are amazing coverage. I think it's a perfect shade for me, really. I know when you first apply it, it looks really intense, but that's obviously just because it's so high coverage. But I think these are both good shades for me. I'm quite glad that they were right for me. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup now and let you know. Okay, so I have just finished doing all of my makeup, and honestly, even in the camera as well, I am so happy with how this foundation looks. Again, I'm not usually one to wear a full coverage foundation a lot. I rarely have them. I love how this looks. I really like it. Because a lot of the time when I'm trying to do more like, not necessarily intense, but more going out kind of makeup, it still doesn't look like I've made much of an effort. With this, it looks like I've made more effort, which sounds stupid, but I think because it's a higher coverage, it looks really, it like pulls everything together. I really like it. It's like a blank canvas to start it all off, and I really love it. And I know I was worried about it clinging to dry patches, and if you look super close, you can see it's done that a tiny bit, but that happens to me with pretty much every foundation, and you would have to be getting up pretty close to see that. I don't have any faults with it. That was one slight fault, but technically it's not really a proper fault because that's just my skin and it's only if you look really close up. But I love this so much. Again, I don't know how long it's going to last, if it's going to start to come off or break apart throughout the day or throughout the evening. I don't know, but I'm going to try and update you when I get home later on tonight and show you it just before I take it off in the evening. But I am really happy with it. I think it looks really nice. It's the perfect shade for me. I'm so glad that I found the perfect one. Very lucky there. And yeah, I'm so excited about this. This will also be perfect for all the shows that I'm going to be involved in coming up really soon. I'm doing a lot of shows. I mean, I'm usually doing a lot of shows a lot of the time, but usually around this time of year I'm always doing shows and stuff, so I think this is the perfect foundation for that because of how high coverage it is. I think it'll be great for shows because obviously you need something a bit more intense, and I think this will be great. I'm really happy with it, really happy with it. So far gets a big thumbs up from me, including the concealer as well. Like, I think the coverage is really nice. There is a bit here where there's no coverage, but that was just me missing a spot. I always miss this corner of my eye. I always like miss putting foundation or concealer on that part. I don't know how I manage it, but I do. So ignore that. That is my fault, not the concealers. But I don't know, maybe to you guys it looks awful, but to me I really like the look of it. So let me know in the comments what you think. I'm really happy with it. So that is my thoughts from first finishing all my makeup, and I will get back to you later on tonight with updates. Hi guys, so I am coming at you with the update from many hours later, like I said I would do, and it is currently about 20 past 10 in the evening, so it's been many hours. I filmed that video probably about 6 or 7 hours ago, so that is how long I've had this on for. And sorry if the lighting's not great, but overall I am super impressed with this foundation. Again, if I just have a quick look in the mirror as well, I've got smile lines going on, but even though they're there, they're nowhere near as bad as usual, if I'm honest. Like, they can get a lot worse than that. Like, I always get them, so that's nothing to do with the foundation, that's just my face. And I have only powdered once, and that was only a little bit. I did a bit on my chin and like around my nose, basically my T-zone, where I get a bit more shiny and oily. I did that when I got to Luke's and before we went out for our meal, so that was the only time. And to be honest, I could have got away with leaving it. It was just a little bit shiny, and it's kind of shiny now in some places, but I powdered it up a little bit. It didn't make it too cakey or anything. Overall, I'm super impressed. It might not look great in this lighting, but I think it's lasted really well. Like, it's not come off anywhere, like it's stayed on, and I just think it still looks really nice. I'm so happy with it. So overall, this foundation and concealer gets a massive thumbs up from me, and I would 100% recommend. It's super affordable and it lasts for a very long time and still looks nice, so I'm really happy with it. Love that it's like full coverage and it actually lasts. I'm really happy with it, so I would 100% recommend going out and getting this foundation. And yeah, I guess that's the end of this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if there's any other foundations that I should check out that you think that I would like, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.